Stop everything you are doing. Stand up. Go to the mirror. Look into your own eyes and be honest. Do you like the man staring back at you? Not his clothes, not his title, not his potential. I mean the spirit behind those eyes. Is that a man who keeps his word? Is that a man of order, of strength, of mental direction? Is that a man of steel or a man of noise? Does he act when no one watches? Does he move even when he is afraid? Or is it a man who breaks promises to himself? Who speaks of goals but drifts by noon? Who complains about his life but defends the very habits that built it? You have lived too long with a weaker version of yourself. The version that hesitates, the version that explains, the version that chooses comfort over clarity, ease over excellence, survival over success. But I say to you now with full conviction, that man can be destroyed in 30 days, not by accident, not by wish, but by speech, repetition, identity, law. You are about to be handed a new weapon, the Daily Mirror Declaration, a spoken system of self-destruction, not of your life, but of the cowardice that has ruled it. A routine forged in spiritual law that reprograms how you think, how you speak, how you act, how you rise. If you follow the next 8 teachings with obedience, if you speak the exact words I give you into the mirror every morning for 30 days, if you act daily in harmony with these commands, no matter how you feel, then in 30 days, you will not recognize the man who once stood trembling before his own reflection. Because this man, the man you will become, he does not chase, he commands. He does not explain, he enforces. He does not negotiate with fear, he leads it. He does not hope, he becomes. You will learn how to write a definite chief aim and speak it as law. Destroy excuses by replacing them with declarations. Command your emotions instead of obeying them. Replace vague goals with sharp identity. Enforce structure, even in the face of uncertainty. Eliminate all speech patterns that feed the weaker man. Build a spiritual image of the man you must become, and walk into each day as a man who already is what he once feared to imagine. And as these words pass through your lips, your subconscious will obey. And as your subconscious obeys, your identity will shift. And as your identity shifts, your life will move. Men will speak to you differently. You will stand straighter. Your eyes will change. Opportunities will appear that once avoided you. Women will feel it. Great men will feel it. Rivals will respect it. Cowards will flee it. But most importantly, you will respect it. You will look in that mirror and see a man you admire, a man you trust, a man you follow. And when the voice of the weaker self returns to whisper doubts, you will silence him, not with apology, but with law. That man is dead. He was buried in repetition, and I walk now in the power of who I have decided to become. Now prepare yourself. This is not soft work. This is spiritual combat. This is identity warfare. This is the death of the weakest version of you, and the rise of the man the world cannot ignore. Listen closely. Repeat daily. And speak into that mirror like your soul depends on it, because it does. Stop pretending you do not know the source of your suffering. The man who hesitates, the man who delays, the man who excuses his sloppiness by calling it being tired or overwhelmed, that is your true enemy. And he lives in your mirror. Weakness is not some curse laid upon you by nature. Weakness is tolerated self-betrayal. You do not fail because life is difficult. You fail because you permit the old self, a parasite in your own house, to whisper delay into your ear and doubt into your heart. You obey him. You listen when he says, "Not today." You believe him when he warns, "What if you fail?" You follow him when he walks away from decision, action, and destiny. That old self has many disguises. He looks like laziness, but speaks like reason. He wears the robes of fatigue, but he is nourished by the refusal to act. He delays until tomorrow and survives by your repetition of yesterday's cowardice. He is not just in your mind. He is in your mouth, your posture, your schedule, your excuses. Let me speak plainly. You must declare war, not on the world, not on circumstance, not on any enemy outside your door, but on the one enemy that has stolen your strength with silent permission, the weaker version of you, the version that quits, the version that hides, the version that knows the truth but refuses to obey it. Write this down now. This is your declaration of separation. The weak version of me no longer rules this house. I name his traits, I confront his patterns, and I bury him in daily repetition. He does not speak, he does not lead, he does not exist in my decisions, my tone, or my thought. List the exact traits of this man. Write them out. Be ruthless. He speaks softly when he should roar. He delays on actions he already knows to take. He changes his plans every week. He fears judgment, seeks comfort, and flees from structure. Now vow, these traits die by my hand. And this is where your transformation begins, not in thought, but in ritual. Each morning stand before the mirror, eyes locked with the reflection of the man you intend to become, not the one you inherited from your fears, the one you now command by law. Say it. Each morning I face the man I must bury, and I speak as the man I am becoming. I do not consult weakness, I do not explain, I enforce. Let me remind you of a truth which all strong men eventually discover. Your past does not die by apology. It dies by replacement. The man you were cannot be reasoned with. He must be overridden by a new command structure, and that begins every dawn with your mirror ritual. Affirmation. The weak version of me dies daily. I do not feed him. I do not listen to him. I do not follow him. Think this is mere speech? Then you do not yet understand the spiritual law which governs success. The subconscious mind, your silent partner, obeys the voice of the dominant thought repeated with faith. And if you do not speak, if you remain casual, vague, or emotional, it will obey yesterday's programming, and yesterday's self will win again. Consider the example of Abraham Lincoln, a man born of humble means, shackled with lifelong depression and doubt. Yet, in the darkest hours of the Republic, he made the definite decision to become what the Union required, a pillar of strength, a man of burden. He buried the part of himself that feared and stood before the nation as a man who would not drift. He did not wait to feel ready. He became ready by decision. And so must you. Stop consulting emotion. Stop asking your mind how it feels. Feelings are the language of the weaker self. Decisions are the language of power. Every time you declare your new self aloud, you stab a dagger into the chest of the old self. Every repetition is a funeral. Now listen carefully. You will not win this war in one day, but you will win one day at a time. If each morning you return to the mirror and recite your mirror identity with law, with discipline, with faith. I am the architect of my mind. I am the commander of my will. The weaker version of me does not eat today. He does not speak today. He does not survive today. I obey only the man I have decided to become. This speech is not optional. It is your armament. Without it, you are unarmed against the whisper of old habits. With it, you become immune to the old voice that once commanded your body. And make no mistake, he will return. In moments of fatigue, he will whisper, "Skip it today." In moments of pain, he will say, "You've done enough." In moments of fear, he will beg for delay. You must be prepared. You must reply, "That man is dead. I buried him in repetition." This is not mental trickery. This is spiritual warfare by means of autosuggestion. This is the reprogramming of your subconscious mind through direct speech, spoken daily under spiritual oath. Do not leave this to chance. If you miss a day, you feed the old self. If you drift, you raise the corpse you've sworn to destroy. So I command you now, begin a notebook. Title it Mirror War. Page 1. List the exact traits of your weaker self. Name them with savage clarity. Page 2, write your declaration of separation. Page 3, record your new morning mirror script. Read it aloud every day, no exceptions. And when the days come when you feel no energy, no strength, no belief, you must still speak. That is the day the old self is weakest. Finish him. This ritual, this decision, this command, it is not a trick. It is law. And the law will obey the man who speaks with faith, repetition, and direction. Let me end this part with one command. Begin today, not tomorrow, not later, not when you feel like it. Speak into the mirror this hour, and do not stop until the man you once were can no longer survive your voice. You have spoken too many soft words. You have uttered too many phrases born not of decision but of emotion. You've said, I'm tired, and made it so. You've said, I don't feel like it, and obeyed the feeling. You've spoken as a subject, not a sovereign, as a victim, not a voice of law, and your life reflects that weakness. Let me make this plain. Every word you speak is an instruction to your subconscious mind. It does not interpret or negotiate. It accepts, it receives, it executes, and it does not know the difference between what you say in anger, sarcasm, or complaint, and what you say with intention. It obeys repetition. The weaker man within you does not grow in silence. He grows in language. He is fed every time you justify delay, every time you sigh in frustration, every time you say, I can't, it's too much, maybe later. These are not harmless expressions. These are spiritual permissions for decay to enter. You must now replace every wandering phrase with command. Speak not as one observing life. Speak as one shaping it. Speak as one enforcing law. And the first law is this. Today I speak only what I desire to see multiplied. Write it. Post it. Declare it aloud every morning before the mirror. And then enforce it. The moment complaint rises in your throat, replace it with command. When sarcasm slips in, cut it out. When weakness speaks, shut it down with declaration. You say this is difficult? Good. That is how you know it is working. The old self will resist. He will cling to the pleasure of casual expression. He will say, let me just vent. But every vent is a leak. Every leak drains power. Every leak strengthens the wrong identity. Now I give you a direct assignment. Exercise. 3-day language audit. For the next 3 days, keep a tally of every complaint, excuse, vague phrase, or emotional reaction you speak. For each, immediately replace it aloud with a spoken law. Example, I'm exhausted. I act regardless of emotion. I finish because I command. I don't feel like it. I am a man of direction. I do what is required. I don't know. I will decide. I will move. I will find out. You must become a man who builds with words, a man whose language produces movement, not confusion. Your words are tools or weapons, nothing in between. Use them with precision. Now declare affirmation. My speech builds. My speech commands. My speech reorders my spirit. Repeat it, slowly, then with force. Let it replace the thought patterns that have poisoned your progress for years. Let us look to the example of John D. Rockefeller. In the midst of financial panic, when lesser men screamed, Rockefeller whispered direction. He never allowed emotion to shape his voice. His speech did not reveal the chaos around him. It imposed order upon it. He understood what most ignore, that the mind follows the mouth, and the mouth must be trained. This is your training. Each day before the mirror, you must say, today I speak as the man I have decided to become. I do not vent. I do not explain. I issue law. And then you must obey your own command. You must speak less, but with greater force. You must eliminate speech that seeks pity, that glorifies hardship, or that invites agreement with failure. Let me give you a short list of forbidden phrases. Destroy these from your vocabulary. I'm trying. We'll see. I hope so. I'm just not feeling it today. It's not my fault. It's hard. These are not reflections, they are instructions. And if you speak them, you will live them. You may ask, can I never speak my feelings? Yes, you may, to yourself in the mirror, followed immediately by command. Example, I feel resistance rising, but I do not obey it. I rise higher. I move anyway. Let me be clear. This is not about false bravado. This is not about ignoring hardship. It is about ruling it. It is about replacing wandering thought with directional speech. You must become a man who speaks in such a way that his very words alter the atmosphere around him. My voice governs my thoughts govern my actions, and my actions govern my results. This is not mere affirmation. This is reinforcement, mental masonry. You are laying new stone over old ground, and each word spoken with clarity is a blow to the foundation of the weaker self. You are not allowed to say you are serious about transformation if your speech still resembles the man you claim to be burying. The grave of the old self is dug with the shovel of disciplined speech. Say it again. Today I speak only what I desire to see multiplied. I speak not from emotion, I speak from law. Now go. Keep your tally. Replace every wandering word. And tomorrow, before the mirror, do it again, until your very voice becomes the sound of power. A man without a definite chief aim is a ship without a rudder. He may move, but he does not arrive. He may act, but he does not build. He may hope, but he never commands. The weaker self thrives in this fog. He lives off uncertainty. Your first weapon against him is clarity. The weaker self cannot survive in the presence of a burning, written, spoken, definite chief aim, because that aim exposes his tricks. It gives the mind a direction. It kills delay. It demands obedience. And it creates a new man, one who acts not from whim, but from will. Now let me tell you the truth. No man of power has ever lived without a definite aim. Edison had one, bring light to the world. Ford had one, create a car for the common man. Rockefeller had one, build an empire of oil. Carnegie had one, control steel and build men. Do you have one? If your answer is anything less than a clear, sharp, measurable declaration, then understand this. Your weaker self is still in charge, because where there is no aim, there is no authority. And where there is no authority, you will obey feelings, not law. So write it right now, on paper, in ink, post it on your mirror. This is my definite chief aim. This is the life I am building. This is the man I am becoming. I speak this aloud every day as a command to my subconscious, as law to my spirit, and as death to the man I refuse to be. Let me give you a simple formula for writing it. Begin by stating who you are. Say, I am a man who, and then name what you were born to master. Maybe you build businesses, maybe you lead men, maybe you command your finances or shape your body with discipline. Whatever it is, declare it with certainty. Then give it a deadline. Say by when you will achieve it and how you'll do it. For example, by the first day of next year, I will have built a business earning $20,000 a month by working 4 focused hours each morning. And finish with your reason, a reason so clear your soul feels it. Say, because I was not born to drift, I was born to dominate. Once written, you must speak it aloud every morning and every night. Not casually, not like a boy reciting homework, but like a general reading a war plan. Speak it until your tone carries weight. Speak it until your mind accepts it as real. Say it while looking yourself in the eyes. Do not glance. Do not drift. Lock in. Let your reflection see your conviction. Your subconscious is listening. Your identity is forming, and the old self is retreating. Affirmation. My aim is fixed. My orders are clear. My identity obeys my direction. Let me show you proof from history. When Edwin C. Barnes declared that he would become the business partner of Thomas Edison, he had no money, no connections, no reason to believe this should be possible. But he had a definite chief aim, and he spoke it daily. He did not say, I hope to work with Edison. He said, I will work with Edison. I will not stop until I do. And that man, by sheer force of declared purpose, entered Edison's office, cleaned floors, waited, studied, prepared, and eventually became exactly what he spoke. Barnes succeeded not because he was the smartest. He succeeded because his aim was louder than his fear. Let me say it again. Where there is no aim, fear multiplies. Where aim is spoken, fear dissolves. Now I must be blunt with you. If you do not write your chief aim, your mind will invent one for you, and it will be survival. It will be drifting. It will be comfort. And your days will fill with motion, but not meaning. But if you write it, read it, speak it, enforce it, your subconscious will bend to its instruction, and your thoughts, actions, and results will begin to obey. Write it, post it, read it twice daily, in the mirror, eyes forward, back straight, voice firm, no exceptions. The mirror is not for vanity, it is for command. It is the headquarters of the new self. And every morning, when you speak your aim into that reflection, you cut ties with vagueness. You choose clarity. You issue law. Here is your daily script. I am a man of purpose. My aim is stated. I act on it today. I enforce it through thought, word, and deed. I do not hesitate. I do not consult fear. I am building what I declared, and I will finish. Repeat it morning and night, not for inspiration, but for instruction. You are not here to feel good. You are here to become definite, to speak words so clearly that the old self cannot live in their presence. And let me warn you, there will be days you resist, days when you feel weak, days when the mirror feels heavy. Those are the most important days. That is when the old self is dying. That is when the new man is rising. Say it anyway. Say it especially when you don't feel it. Because repetition under pressure is what separates talkers from commanders. That's when the declaration becomes identity. That's when faith begins to form. And that's when results begin to move toward you, not because of luck, but because you trained your subconscious to expect them. So do not drift from this. This is the turning point. The weaker man is vague. The stronger man is specific, structured, and spoken. Let this be your oath. Every morning and night I speak my chief aim into the mirror. I do not whisper. I do not hope. I declare. And the man I see in that reflection no longer waits. He builds. This is the hour you draw the line. From this day forward, your life is built upon one command. Speak your aim until the world obeys. You cannot become what you cannot first imagine. You cannot step into strength while clinging to the image of weakness. The man who changes his life must first change the way he sees himself, not just in thought, but in daily repetition, in mirror, in posture, in identity. This is where most men fail. They speak a goal, but never see the man required to achieve it. They chase results, but keep the same internal portrait. The same slumped shoulders, the same uncertain tone, the same emotional habits of a man who doubts his own ability. You must now build the image of the man you are becoming. You must see him, walk as him, speak as him, dress, eat, write, and move as him before the results appear. That is the law. The image always comes first. The results always obey the identity. Each morning, when you stand before that mirror, do not look casually. Do not adjust your hair and move on. Lock eyes with yourself and visualize, not the man you were, but the man who commands your future, the man who rises early, who moves without delay, who finishes what he starts. See him standing taller. See him choosing his words with intention. See him acting immediately, precisely, powerfully. See the world responding to him differently, not because the world has changed, but because he has. See it so vividly that your subconscious accepts him as you. And then speak it aloud. I am the man of precision, persistence, and power. I do not resemble the past. I resemble the vision. Do not merely recite this. Enforce it. With tone, with breath, with decision. You must speak as though this man already exists, because in spirit he does. And every day you repeat this image. Every day you feed it with faith. Every day you walk in it regardless of emotion. you become it. This is not make-believe. This is spiritual law. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is repeated with emotional intensity. And that is your weapon: repetition plus imagination plus emotion. That is the formula that sculpts identity. Do not say, "I'll believe it when I see it." That is the creed of the defeated. Say instead, "I will see it because I believe it, and I believe it because I speak it." That is the creed of builders, of conquerors, of men who rise above the noise. Let us look now at Andrew Carnegie. Before the world saw him as powerful, he saw himself as powerful. Before the world respected him, he respected himself. He walked with the posture of royalty when he was still unknown. He enforced the image until the world adjusted to it. That is your instruction now. Enforce the image. Build it each day. Describe the man you are becoming in full detail. Speak his qualities aloud. Define his habits. See his daily rituals. And then become him through decision, not feeling. In the morning, visualize him moving through the day. See him declining distractions. See him responding to challenge with poise. See him standing in rooms where weaker versions of you would have collapsed. Then walk into your day wearing his mind. At night, return to the mirror. Review. Did you walk as him? Did you speak as him? Where did you slip? Where did the old self return? Acknowledge it, not with shame, but with correction. And then reaffirm the image again. This is the man I am becoming. Each day I think like him. I speak like him. I act like him, and therefore I am him. There is no limit to this transformation. The world will only believe in you after you do. You must be the first to see it, to name it, to speak it, and to enforce it. Your friends will not understand. Let them wonder. Your family may not see the shift. Let them adjust. The mirror knows, the mind knows, and the world will soon know, because identity becomes action, and action shapes result. Let me be clear. This process is not casual. This is spiritual engineering. This is internal architecture. You are laying the foundation of a new man, not by luck, but by law. And the mirror is your construction site. You may be tempted to skip days, to rush through the ritual, to speak with less emotion. Do not. That is the weaker self trying to survive. You must not permit it. Every day, with full conviction, speak your new identity into the reflection. And when resistance arises, when the voice inside says, "This is fake," reply with law, "No, this is real, and the past was the lie." Every time you repeat that image, every time you reject the memory of who you were, you break the chains that kept you drifting. Say it aloud. I am not the echo of my past. I am the architect of my future. The man I see is the man I enforce, and that man walks in fire. And now walk with him, not one day, not when you feel like it, every day, especially when the mind resists, especially when no one is watching, especially when you are tired, because that is when identity is sealed. And now go back to the mirror, right now. Look into your own eyes and say, I am the man I declared. I am the vision fulfilled. I am the death of the weaker version, and I am the proof that repetition makes law. This is how you destroy who you were and become who you were meant to be. The weaker version of you is ruled by emotion. He acts only when he feels like it. He starts and stops according to mood. He obeys fatigue. He surrenders to fear. He says, I'll try again tomorrow, because today he doesn't feel inspired. But the man who rules his life is the man who rules his inner world. Power does not belong to the most emotional man. It belongs to the man who governs his emotion and commands his state of mind like a monarch commands a kingdom. Emotion is not your ruler. It is your servant. And if you have not yet declared that aloud, you are still its subject. The true man, the man the mirror awaits each morning, is not reactive. He is directive. He does not ask, how do I feel? He asks, what must I do? And then he does it, with or without motivation, with or without applause, with or without the permission of comfort. Each morning you must declare before your own eyes that emotion is a choice, not a master. The mirror is not a place to feel good. It is a throne room, and you are either a sovereign or a servant. Say it. I choose calm, I choose action, I choose discipline. Emotion obeys me. And then act as if that were true. Because if you do not declare your emotional state, if you do not take command, the old self will do it for you. He will convince you to drift. He will beg for mercy. He will wrap laziness in the language of self-care. And you will fall again. This must stop, and it stops with ritual command. Each day, before your feet touch the world, stand in the mirror, shoulders back, breath deep, and speak this law. I do not ask how I feel. I act because I decide. I rise because I command. I persist because I have purpose. My emotions follow my leadership. Do not say it once. Say it until you feel your posture change. Say it until your jaw hardens. Say it until your blood moves differently. This is not a game. This is the death of weakness. This is the rise of dominion. Now understand this. Governing your emotions does not mean ignoring them. It means guiding them. It means deciding what emotional fuel you will allow. And more importantly, when you will replace the fuel that no longer serves your definite chief aim. You must learn to interrupt the downward spiral. The weaker self rides it all the way down. You must break it. At the first sign of discouragement, speak. At the first sign of hesitation, move. At the first whisper of fear, laugh and command your state anew. Say it. I command my inner world. I am not subject to waves. I walk on them. Let me give you a name, Napoleon Bonaparte. Before he ever conquered land, he conquered his own reaction. He trained himself to respond, not react. He mastered the pause before the strike. He controlled tone, expression, movement. He did not allow feeling to direct him. He used it. And so must you. Every mirror session is a battlefield. Your emotions will rise. Your body may protest. Your thoughts may wander. But the man who governs himself does not obey resistance. He neutralizes it. Let us now correct one of the deadliest phrases in your vocabulary. I don't feel like it. That statement belongs to the grave of the old self. From now on, your phrase is this. I move whether I feel or not. That is the voice of kings. That is the oath of builders. Now look yourself in the eyes and speak. I am not here to feel my way into action. I am here to act my way into destiny. Emotion is the echo of the old self. I walk in command. And if emotion does rise, and it will, observe it like a general observes weather. Note it. Then override it with action. This is not suppression. This is direction. This is sovereignty of spirit. And when fatigue sets in, and it will, do not lie. Do not say, I can't. Say instead, this is the test. This is the forge. This is where I decide who I am. Do not obey storms. Ride them. Do not wait for ideal conditions. Create them inside. And then walk into your day like a man whose internal law is greater than the external world. Let this be your daily mirror law. I do not serve emotion. I do not speak emotion. I do not let emotion choose for me. I speak law. I obey purpose. I walk in fire. And understand this, no one will remind you to do this. No one will congratulate you for governing your spirit. You must do it alone. You must do it daily. You must do it whether your circumstances honor you or spit on you. But here is the promise. The man who does this for 30 days will be unshakable. He will no longer flinch in challenge. He will no longer drift in uncertainty. He will no longer apologize for power. He will no longer seek emotional safety. He will become the very standard others measure by. And when others say, how did you become so stable, so focused, so unshakable? You will look at them and say, because I stopped asking how I felt. I decided, and I obeyed my own command. Now repeat this last phrase aloud before the mirror. I am not ruled. I rule. I am not swayed. I stand. I am not a servant of mood. I am a builder of destiny. This is the law. and the man who lives by it becomes what others call unstoppable. The man who does not track his progress will always return to failure. He may speak powerfully, move decisively, act with intensity, but if he does not measure the man he is becoming, the weaker self will return, quietly, gradually, in the name of comfort, in the voice of good enough. Let us be clear. Change without measurement is fantasy. You must know who you were yesterday, and you must record who you are becoming today. Otherwise, your mind will slip into old patterns and call it rest. It will call it balance. It will call it normal. The stronger man does not hope he is changing. He proves it. He tracks it. He observes himself like a builder inspects a foundation, with precision, with structure, without excuse. You are not building a moment. You are building a man. And that man must be tracked daily. So now you will begin a new ritual. It happens at night before the mirror, after the day is complete. You stand with notebook in hand and you report, not to the world, but to your own spirit. And your spirit will listen. In your mirror accountability sheet, you will answer the following. What was today's aim? Did I act on it? What emotion ruled me today? Did I rule it or did it rule me? Where did I demonstrate discipline? Where did I allow cowardice to speak? What do I declare for tomorrow? You speak the answers aloud. You do not hide. You do not soften. You state the truth, not to judge, but to direct. This is not shame. This is strategy. This is how kings correct their course. This is how architects build structures that do not collapse. I measure progress. I adjust like a craftsman. I refine myself daily. You are not a beggar. You are not a victim. You are a builder. And the builder must study his blueprints. He must know what worked, what failed, what to adjust. And he must do it every day without emotion, without excuse, without exception. Look again into the mirror and declare, I do not guess at my growth. I measure it, I write it, I speak it, I enforce it. The man who tracks becomes trustworthy to himself, and that trust builds power. That trust builds confidence. That trust becomes momentum, because when you see the pages stacking, when you see the evidence recorded, your subconscious accepts a new truth. This is not a phase. This is who I am now. Let us remember Edison, not just the man of invention, but the man of measurement. When he failed, he did not mourn. He recorded. He logged what didn't work. He noted his decisions. He refined. He returned. That's why he succeeded where 10,000 others quit. He tracked the man he was becoming. Do not let a single day pass unrecorded. Every night, return to the mirror. Declare your wins. Confront your cowardice. Speak your direction. The mirror will reflect your words, and your mind will build the next day in alignment with them. Even if you miss the mark today, even if you drifted, delayed, or weakened, this ritual saves you because it interrupts the drift. It replaces shame with strategy. It brings the subconscious back under command. Now say aloud, I do not fear the truth. I record it, I speak it, I use it, and I become stronger every night I report. You will be tempted to skip. You will hear the old voice. It was just one day. But one day without measurement becomes two. Two becomes a week. And soon the weaker self is resurrected, not because you lost, but because you stopped watching. This war is won through consistency with correction. And the man who tracks his way forward cannot drift far, because his own voice brings him back. His own words call him to account. His own declarations realign the day. Now listen to this command. This is your nighttime ritual. Stand in the mirror. Open your notebook. Speak the answers. And finish with this phrase. I am not finished. I am being forged. And tomorrow I rise sharper than today. This is the rhythm of transformation. Declare in the morning. Measure at night. Declare again, and repeat, until the world no longer sees you as you were, but as you decided to become. This is not motivation. This is engineering. This is the law of spiritual momentum, and the man who builds it cannot fail. Excuses are the last refuge of the man who refuses to rule his life. They sound noble. They sound reasonable. but they are cowardice in costume. The man who explains away his failure is the man who still serves his weaker self and does so with elegance, with cleverness, with rehearsed regret. But the man of purpose does not decorate his delay. He ends it. The man of power does not cradle his hesitation. He buries it. And he does so with language. Every time you speak an excuse, you breathe life into the man you swore to destroy. You say, "I was tired." Say instead, "I chose not to move." You say, "It wasn't the right time." Say instead, "I feared acting without perfection." You say, "I didn't feel like it." Say instead, "I let emotion become my master." Only when you speak the truth without flinch does the weaker man begin to die. And he must die because he is the one who robbed your future. He is the one who protected comfort, who sought pity, who reasoned his way out of greatness. Let me be clear. Excuses are not merely mental. They are spiritual poison. They weaken the force of repetition. They distort the mirror of truth. They tell the subconscious that softness will be tolerated, and in doing so, they undo the work of discipline. From this moment forward, you must remove every excuse from your vocabulary. If you fall short, speak the responsibility. If you drift, speak the correction. If you weaken, speak the recovery. But do not explain failure in terms that keep it alive. Stand before the mirror and speak this aloud. No one stops me, not time, not people, not difficulty. I do not negotiate with fear. I do not make excuses. I act now. This is not mere motivation. This is mental law enforcement, because the man who permits excuses to remain in his speech cannot enforce change. His words betray him. His mouth praises power, but whispers delay. And the subconscious sees the contradiction and obeys the weaker voice. Let us return to the mirror. Every morning before the world speaks to you, you must speak to yourself. And in that moment, you must reaffirm, "I am done with softness. I am done with hesitation. I am done explaining why. I move, I decide, I complete." There is no need to feel ashamed of excuses. You were trained to speak them. The world encourages them. But now you must break the rhythm. You must strike the script, and you must replace it with ownership. And let me show you the reward. The man who stops making excuses becomes immediately powerful because he ceases to argue with what is. He sees his weakness and strengthens it. He sees his drift and corrects it. He no longer spends time defending failure. He spends time enforcing victory. Let us look now to Henry Ford. He was not the most educated. He was not the most liked. He was not the most resourced. But what he lacked in background, he made up for in utter intolerance for delay. When engineers said it could not be done, he said, "Produce it anyway." When finances were tight, he moved with clarity. He did not explain setbacks. He issued commands. That is now your role. You do not ask the world for better conditions. You build them. You do not wait for support. You act without it. You do not tell others why you failed. You tell yourself why you will never fail the same way again. This must now become your spiritual creed. I am a man of action. I do not explain. I do not beg. I do not stall. If something must be done, I do it. If a correction must be made, I make it. If a weakness must be addressed, I face it head on. I am not here to discuss my chains. I am here to break them. Now let me give you the daily exercise. Each night, as part of your mirror accountability ritual, you will recall the moments in your day where you hesitated, where you postponed, where you gave in, and you will speak them, not as excuses, but as acknowledgments. You will say, "Today I delayed calling that man. I feared rejection. That ends now." Or, "Today I justified skipping the final hour of work. I called it balance. It was laziness. Tomorrow I correct it." And then you will write down the correction and act upon it the next day. Excuses die in the light, and you must shine that light daily. This is not weakness. It is warfare. This is not about being hard on yourself. It is about being precise with your standard. And the man who raises his standard becomes the man others obey. Now repeat after me. I am finished explaining. I am finished excusing. I am finished apologizing for my power. I move, I act, I finish. Say it again. Until your tone changes. Until the weaker voice inside shrinks. Until your body straightens. Until your mind reorients. And then go forward into the day, not waiting for the perfect moment, but creating it by action. This is the language of builders, of men who no longer seek sympathy, but who now enforce sovereignty. From this day forward, your speech will be stripped of all softness, and your mirror will hear only power, because excuses cannot survive in a room ruled by decision. You have come far, but do not mistake momentum for mastery. Do not confuse progress with permanence. The weaker man still lingers, silent, waiting, watching. He does not speak loudly anymore. He does not argue as he once did. But if you stop now, he will return, and you will not notice it until the mirror looks familiar, too familiar. This is the law. The old identity must be buried, publicly, permanently, and with power. You are not here to improve the weaker self. You are not here to upgrade him. You are here to outgrow him, to replace him, to become unrecognizable to him. And that begins with a ritual of burial. Stand in front of your mirror on the 30th morning. In your hand, hold the list of traits you vowed to destroy, the weaknesses, the delays, the excuses, the moods, the old voice, the former standard. Look yourself in the eyes and say, you are no longer me. I do not know you. I do not serve you. I do not explain you. I have become the man who replaced you. Then read aloud the name of the new identity, the man you have spoken into the mirror every day. Read his traits, read his decisions, read his law, and let your spirit accept, I am no longer becoming, I have become. This is not mere symbolism. This is law. The subconscious mind is waiting for finality, and you must give it. After the declaration, take the paper, the old self, and burn it. Watch it turn to ash. Watch it vanish. Do not joke. Do not drift. Watch until the last word is gone. Then return to the mirror and speak the final command. I am the man of purpose. I finish what I begin. I lead my spirit with law. I fear nothing. I drift no more. I command my future. Say it not once. Say it 3 times. Eyes locked. Voice unwavering. Say it until the air changes, until you feel the shift, until the voice inside no longer wavers. From this day forward, the world is no longer waiting for your potential. It now must respond to your presence. You do not need applause. You do not require agreement. You walk with a spirit that cannot be ignored. Because the man who enforces identity, who sculpts it daily in word, image, repetition, and action, is the man the world must adjust to. He does not wait for alignment. He imposes order. He speaks law, and law always gets followed by the mind, by the body, by others. This is the difference between the man who wishes and the man who rules. The one speaks hope, the other speaks completion. Do not return to softness. Do not return to drifting. Do not return to waiting for a better day. That day is now. That man is now. And your life will follow the force of this identity if you enforce it daily. Now write your final declaration. Post it above the mirror. Make it law. I am the standard. I am the finisher. I am the answer. I no longer explain. I command. And from this moment forward, I live with such power that weakness flees at my presence. Read this aloud every morning for the next 90 days, not to become, but to remind, to reinforce, to root. Because though the old self is buried, the world has not yet seen what this new man can build. And now it will, because you will not fade. You will not soften. You will not apologize for strength. You have built a man of law, a man of posture, a man of clarity, a man who rules his thoughts, his speech, his emotions, and his time. And now the world will reflect that man back to you. But be warned, if you stop speaking, you will forget. If you stop writing, you will drift. If you stop declaring, the old self will whisper. And so you must continue, daily, fiercely, fully. This is not the end. This is the birth of permanent identity. You no longer ask, can I? You no longer say, someday. You no longer speak, if only. You now say, I decide, I act, I building, I command. Say it one final time before the mirror, before your future. The weak version of me is dead. I have buried him, and I have risen with purpose, with law, with identity. The world is mine to shape. Now go, and do not return. This is who you are now.